Let's go to the moon. Be back soon.
Camera 1, camera 2. What is up? Welcome to episode 102, baby. Welcome to the TCR podcast, or should I say TCR podcast? Because I got a lot of backlash of saying the TCR because that doesn't make any sense. So let's just keep it with TCR podcast. But man, today we don't have Lily Bay in the house. Something that is new to me, but I'm excited. I'm excited for this venture, and don't worry. Lily Bay will be here next week, but today we have an amazing guest, someone that I've been knowing for a little while now. I'm excited to introduce him. Not only is he my personal trainer at the moment, let's say, 2% body fat, the guy is ripped, and he's actually a veteran. You know, he served in the military for 6 years. I'm super excited to have him, my dog Elias. Welcome to the podcast. How you feeling, man?
I appreciate you. Number one, I'm feeling honored.
Okay.
So grateful. Thank you for having me here. I know we ran into an issue.
Yeah.
You invited me last minute, but no pasa nada.
Right.
I got you, brother. So aquí andamos. And number two is I want to say thank you guys to the audience for taking this time to listen to me.
Yeah.
And hopefully I don't bore you guys out. Hopefully we have a good time.
We'll make it interesting. So I just want to thank you for coming. I know that there's something you can't buy, which is time. So I value everyone's time. So when someone takes the time to be on the podcast, to enjoy these moments, like you just can't pay them back. So thank you for your time.
Thank you.
I'm excited to dive into it, right? To just get into it. I don't want to have like a full on bullshitting or whatever. Let's get into it. If you were in an Uber right now, going from point A to point B, you had like a good 2-3 minutes before he arrived to his destination. And he asked you, man, who are you? What do you do for a living? Or tell me a little bit about you, Elias. The Uber asked you. What would you tell him?
Number one, I'd tell them that I change lives. I help people improve their lifestyle by, helping them live a healthier, active lifestyle through good nutrition, through body movement, and overall through accountability. So I think that's where I really excel, is keeping people accountable to their goals. Having that person on top of you, making sure that you don't quit.
Yeah, very important, because I was telling the girls at the warehouse this weekend that, today, about this weekend, that typically, if it was a typical football game, soccer game, if I would have went to, without you training me, I would have said, you know what, let me have 3 beers, 4 or 5 beers. But something about the way that we are training and dedicated, it's just different, like I feel like I could focus better,
You're living past the moment. You got bigger goals.
So he has embedded a couple things in my head to just remind me of that when I want to drink a beer. Typically I would just say, fuck it, it's just 1 beer, no pasa nada. But lately, these past 2 weeks, it's like, no, I have a mission and let's get there, So thank you. People want to know, why are you training, Mando? Did he message you? Mm-hmm. What's going on there?
So
there's a lot to it, Yeah. But go ahead.
It's interesting, right? Because I seen you. Number one, you really wanted to transform yourself, right? I think you were at a moment where you wanted to challenge yourself, right? I think you have a lot of successes already going on. You're excelling at a lot of things, so that's fantastic. So I think for you were looking for something deeper, and that's where I think you were looking to kind of work on yourself. You've been working on so many other things that you're reflecting inwards. Mm-hmm. And so when I seen that, I took on that challenge, right? I took on the challenge, and your first challenge, which by the way, the first challenge was, will he show up to the gym at 5:30 in the morning?
I canceled like 3 times. I'm not gonna lie. Twice. Okay.
The 3-1, you're playing one more time.
Okay.
You would have striked out.
Yeah. So and then.
So on the third one, which I think you were sick on one of them, and it was legit. I heard you. You did sound sick. But on the third one, you showed up.
Right.
I would say about 70% of the people, right away, they quit because they don't show up to those 5:30. I've had a lot of people that reach out to me, and when I tell them, okay, 5:30 a.m., they're gonna be there. They're not there. right?
Okay.
So they're not willing. That shows to me they're not willing to sacrifice
a little bit of sleep.
An hour,
An hour or two. Yeah.
of their sleep. You did. You were willing to show up, right?
Okay.
So you're giving it 100. I'm willing to give it 100.
Okay.
So,
yeah. Well,
so that's why
we actually started at 6, and then little by little we're going earlier and earlier. Working on that, right?
That's right.
What's the plan look like for me?
So the first plan, which this is the 4th week that we're into, was number one, I want to build some consistency with you, right? The consistency was you're not going to transform Mando in 4 weeks,
Right.
Right? There's habits that he has that are going to take time. So step one was, is he willing to show up? You're willing to show up.
Okay.
2, how is he going to react to the soreness, right? of the
fuck,
workouts?
man.
Is he going to be like, man, I don't think this is for me?
Yeah.
And going on 4 weeks, you're doing really good, right? So I haven't, as you noticed, I haven't really pushed like your nutrition. I haven't been a stickler like, oh, bro, you can't be eating that.
Right,
blah, blah,
right,
blah.
right.
No, why? Because it's a process. Number one, let's get to the gym. So this is for anybody that's listening, right? That maybe they're wondering, where can I start?
Right.
Look, don't worry about eating perfect right away. Just show up to the gym, show up to your local track, do 20 minutes of cardio, right? But the next phase, as we move forward, I will be a little bit more strict on you on the meals. But for now, let's enjoy and let's just show up.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, for sure. How are you gonna make sure I stay motivated? I don't know how long. I mean, hopefully we're on this for a super long run.
Yes.
But how am I gonna stay motivated? How are you gonna keep me motivated?
Well, number one,
It's my job to stay motivated, right? But how are you gonna help me?
well, you know my belief on motivation, right? I always say it's more about the discipline aspect of it, right? So motivation for me is, another word for motivation is encouragement.
Okay.
Right. So it's like, I don't think you need a lot of encouragement. I think you just need a little bit more discipline. But we do have an end goal, right? So like I told you, hey, Mando, this is not something that we have to do forever. This is just something that we're committing from now, right? To when the wedding is. Because ultimately we want you to not only look your best, but ultimately we want you to feel your best at the wedding. So whenever you look back, you know, you can look good.
That's true.
Right?
It's like, damn, I was looking fire there.
Yeah,
So let's go.
So, and the ways to keep you encouraged is to keep reminding you of why we started, you know, and really maintaining those disciplines, those habits.
True. Yeah. And he actually, I'm going to be straightforward. He actually put me on a 21-day challenge.
It's a 21-day challenge.
Yeah. So that made me even more strict, at least me personally, even more dedicated. Like I worked out Saturday, Sunday, and today's Monday. We're going to work out all week.
That's right, baby.
You know, so I'm trying to win this challenge. I'm going to win this challenge.
Which, by the way,
you know,
if y'all support my boy, please comment.
Yeah.
Please comment. Mando, I got you. Mando, I'm rooting for you.
Let's go.
You know, porque para las fiestas, de voladita, shot. But hey, you want to get fit?
Yeah, that's hard. That's hard. But yeah, I mean, that's enough about me. You know, I feel like we kind of touched that subject, and it's very important because we're here to motivate too. And moving on, today, September 11th, I do want to take a moment of silence, a good little 5 seconds, just to respect, and let's do it. But yeah, thank you guys. Where were you on September 11th? Because it's proven, a study that I saw somewhere is that when something tragic like that happens, you always remember exactly where you were, what the location looked like. It's just very detailed. Do you remember?
Oh, without a doubt. So, I mean, I was in my, in the 6th grade. I was in my PE outfit, my shorts.
Okay. You see how detailed it is?
My blue shorts, my gray shirt with the turkey. Right?
Okay.
That was my middle school, Turkey Creek Middle School. And we're in PE, and they bring out this TV, and they just kind of put on the news, and they kind of show the World Trade Centers collapsing. Some people were against it, some teachers.
Yeah.
But one of the teachers said, no, you know, the kids deserve to see this because it's going to be a moment in history that will never be forgotten.
She said this.
It was a guy.
Okay.
It was a guy that said, hey, no, the kids deserve to see this. And I was in the 6th grade. Yeah, and it was probably me, maybe another 50 students watching it on TV. Yeah. So it's funny you say that because it just still here.
Yeah, it's still right here. I remember exactly. I was in classroom 2, and a kid just came, opened the door. He's like, hey, we're under attack. Turn the TV on. someone hijacked a private jet and hit a building in New York. You guys gotta watch this. Bam, we're all watching the TV. So now I think back, I'm like, damn, like if I had a kid, do I want him to see that? You know, because but like you said, it's a historic event, you know, something that we'll remember forever. Moving on from there, I feel like it's perfect segue to start talking about your 6 years in the military.
Correct.
You served 6 years, and not only you served, but you're also Mexican, which we didn't say, right? From Guanajuato, right?
Bro, yes, correct. From Guanajuato. Correct.
Yeah.
So shout out to all my Guanajuato people. As a matter of fact, shout out to all my Hispanics.
Let's go.
In general, I think is it Hispanic Heritage Month?
In a couple days.
In a couple days.
On
Okay.
Monday. So a couple days from today. But
And-
let's
and
start.
anyways,
Let's
se
start
celebra
right
todos
now.
los días.
Yeah, let's do it.
So right out of high school, I went into the military, right? I went into the military, and my job in the military was basically to guide missiles, right? So if you guys can imagine playing Battleship, right? Normally you say B5,
Okay.
C2,
Okay.
right? Like but for me, it was a lot more detailed. So the coordinates were more.
There's
like,
more to it.
the numbers were longer, 8 to 12 numbers, because that was the precise of the missiles. So
How precise?
I mean, the missiles that we would guide would be so precise that if we wanted to, for example, what word do I want to use? I'll use this word, right, to not get canceled or stuff like that. But if we wanted to damage this room that we're in,
Just this room.
Just this room,
A
and
12
not
by
the-
12 or something like that.
and not the room next to us, we would damage just this
That's
room
it.
and not damage the room. Right
And these
across. That's how
missiles
precise.
are as big as what and as small as what?
Some of them are very long. I mean, that's 8 foot long, right? Some of them smaller, right? So, but that's basically what my job was in the military, was to guide missiles.
That's crazy.
MLR, it's called MLRS, part of the field artillery. So I don't want to bore you out with
No,
a
no,
lot of,
no,
mili-
get
a lot of
into it.
military
Let's get into it.
genre.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Yeah, shit. I mean, I don't understand what you're saying, but
Correct,
it's
so-
interesting to me.
they we're the steel rain.
That's crazy.
Steel rain soldiers.
Still rain.
Steel rain because we make it rain steel. We
Damn.
make it rain steel.
That's
steel,
badass.
Steel rain.
And I've never met someone. Wait, I'll be honest. When someone says they're in the military, my ignorance plays a part where you're military. Okay, cool. But we were speaking earlier, and there's levels to this shit. There's levels to the military. There's levels to your what you were doing. And tell us a little bit more about that.
So a little bit about myself around the military. So besides just being a soldier, in field artillery, I also through basic training, out of 240 soldiers, only 8 soldiers get something recognition, which is called Soldier of the Cycle.
Okay.
Which means you excelled in, the test that they gave you. You did things that stood out. So out of the 8, proudly, I was one of the 8 out of 240 soldiers to get recognized.
8?
Out of 240.
240?
Only 8 get chosen.
And you were one of those.
And I was one of the 8. What? And so, and to me, anytime I would say this, anytime I ever get recognized for anything, I never forget, that I'm Hispanic.
Okay.
So whenever I achieve something, I don't just see it like it's my personal achievement. I see it like it's an achievement.
We're doing this for La Raza, let's say, or for the Latinos,
for the
Hispanics.
Latino community. Correct,
Right.
bro. Correct.
Okay.
And so, that it feels good whenever, those accomplishments are made. So yeah, maybe one of the questions would be like, what encouraged me to kind of join.
Yeah,
so,
like you went from high school straight to the military. How did that happen?
So going back to September 11, right?
Mm-hmm.
I had like that need to like serve,
Which was 7 years later.
Correct,
Right.
which was 7 years later. And so I felt that it was a perfect timing. I wasn't still sure what I wanted to do, so I was buying time.
Okay.
Right. So, maybe, there's moms on here and their sons don't know what to do and they're going to graduate soon. If it's okay with you, I mean, I would say, have them join the Army and they're going to learn a lot in there. I've learned so much in the military that I've been able to use, in my business and in my life. And it's only made me better.
Your day to day.
And made people around me better. So
I feel like I've known you for a little time, and you stand out from a lot of people I know, and your structure is just like on point. And I think the military played a big part on that, right?
Yeah.
Structure, like this is gonna be after this, and then this, and then the military is all about that,
yes.
and that's where you get it from, right?
Correct. So one of the hardest things, and it was one of the questions we had earlier, right? When we were bouncing out, was coming back out of the military. The hardest thing to adapt was adapting to not having a schedule.
Yeah.
Like not having a routine, because in the military, we're so structured. You know,
Waking up,
just
breakfast.
From the time you wake up to the time you go to bed.
You know what's crazy is that we're speaking about it. I was like, I see you're always clean shave, right? Always. I was like, is that a thing in the military? How often you gotta shave? This dude said you gotta shave sometimes twice a day.
Yeah.
You gotta be clean shaved. And obviamente te van a regañar, hey, go shave. But you gotta know that that's how you gotta be. You know, that's the structure. And that's the, like, you know this.
So that's the standard.
The standard. That's the word I was looking for.
So that's that's the standard.
That and a lot of other things, you know?
Gracias a Dios no soy tan barbón.
Harry, imagine
tan
me.
Barbón.
Fuck, it would suck.
So yeah, you'd be shaving like twice a day, and
sure.
you'd have to carry a shaver on you.
Really?
Yeah. So I'm not sure if it's changed now. But,
Not on combat though, right?
But then it was still, hey, if it's 2 p.m. and you're starting to, we can see a little dirt, which is what we'd call whenever it starts.
They could send you an A, go clean up.
We'd be like, hey, go shave.
Wow.
It's the standard. And, you know, it's the standard. You have to maintain a standard so that way you don't start to get comfortable.
Had more questions for you, but let's get into it. What was one of the hardest things while you were in the military? You get super deep.
Let me see, besides the beds.
Like I would like to put a track on this and make it super emotional or whatever you want, but however you want to do it, you know?
Okay. So what was one of the hardest things?
Yeah. In the military.
I want to say the deployment.
Okay.
The deployment, it definitely changes you as a person. You know, you're disconnected from friends, you're disconnected from family, the people that matter most. You're out of your home. You're out of your bed. You're sleeping in some place, you know, surrounded by people that, you know, maybe want to, you know, hurt you or whatnot. Yeah. But so I think that's
the enemy,
the tough,
you know?
that's the toughest thing is, and it's really it's awesome because it makes you appreciate what we have here in the States so much. You know, being over there made me realize, like, man, you know, third world country, these people really, they don't have the liberty to succeed as easily as we do here. Yo diría que, you know, aquí nosotros somos chiflados. Yeah. Aquí en este país, si uno no logra lo que quiere lograr, es
porque no quiere.
Es porque no quiere.
Yeah.
Allá,
by the way, you were in the Middle East, right?
Yes. You know, and over there, it's like they kind of have to be born into wealth, right? Into the kingdom or, you know, whatever political structure that they have, right? And so I think that was the hardest thing, is actually seeing people live like that.
Okay.
Just imagine living on your sofa for the next 11 months.
That's crazy.
Right? And nobody comes to see you, nobody visits you. And
11 months.
Yeah, all total. Mm-hmm.
So when you were deployed, how long were you deployed for?
10 months total.
Wow.
It was 10 months, and then there's some pre-deployment checks that you do before you arrive there, and then like another 2 weeks before you can see your family once you get back. So
wow. And you're not flying in first class, are you?
Not on the way there, but you know, it's like one of your normal planes.
Okay.
I mean, one of your normal planes.
Okay, okay. Or you're not flying in the big military carry.
Like a C-130? Those are called C-130s. No.
Not there. Okay.
No, I did.
Ever been in one?
I was in a C-130 actually.
No seats, right? Like no like first class, no like airplane seats, right?
No. So it's funny you say that. When I was deployed, I did go to another country.
Okay.
Throughout my deployment, and I was there for a month. And I got to fly in a C-130 for about 2 hours.
Never forget it, huh?
The most uncomfortable ride you will ever have.
Are you thinking like, when is this gonna fall, or what are you thinking when you're in there?
No, when I'm there, I mean, I trust my soldiers. You know, I trust the pilots. You know,
how big are these? Like huge?
Humongous, huge.
Like you feel like you're inside of.
I mean, you can fit tanks inside of them.
Tanks.
So I'm sure you've seen them in movies and stuff like that. Yeah.
Like that. They're really like that.
Mm-hmm.
Did they ever open up the back and people flew out? No, right?
No.
Not that? No. You weren't in that type of mission.
I have jumped out of a helicopter, though.
You have jumped?
I've jumped out of a helicopter. Not through parachute, through rappel, through a rope.
Into the water?
Not until into the ground.
What?
From 90 feet above ground.
That was training, or was that?
That was training.
Wow.
Yes.
You ready?
Yes.
You were ready for anything.
Yep.
That's crazy.
So yeah, you learn a lot. Ultimately, that's another thing that stands out is.
Yeah, I mean, I remember being a kid, and my mom would say like, "I'm gonna try my best," because at the time it was like war against terror and all that, right? I'm gonna try my best for you not to join, right? I don't want you to join because their biggest thing was losing you, because that's what the TV shows, Were your parents against it?
They weren't. So my mom has always been supportive of my decisions.
Okay.
My dad as well, right? It's not that they weren't against it. Coming from a Christian background, right? Their belief was more like, violence isn't the way.
Okay.
Right. But if that's something that you want to do, we respect it.
Okay.
And so it was more like we wouldn't like you to, but we're not gonna fight you because we support you as our son to choose what you want to do.
Right.
And so and thankfully they were like that. And shout out to mom if she's listening for always being supportive of me in my decisions. But that was the only thing is Christian belief kind of conflicting a little bit with that.
Did we leave any cooler details out? Because I feel like we're missing a lot. We could go on and on.
You can have a whole segment on the military. I mean, the military is just it's phenomenal. You're gonna learn punctuality. You're gonna learn like you've seen from me is to have purpose in your day. We have a mission for the week. We have a mission for the day. Everything is very structured. Everything's coming from a higher command. There's no time where you're like, damn, what am I doing here? Am I wasting my time? No, you're always doing something that has purpose. There's always a vision for the day.
Okay.
But,
and meeting you and speaking to you, you've kind of like pushed that on to me. Today at the warehouse, I gave him a mission. I gave him a mission for the month, and I gave him a mission for the week. And at the end of the week, I was like, I want to be here. And I'm going to check at the end of the week where we're at. And that's great because if you don't have a mission or you don't have an end goal, you're never going to get there.
Correct.
So it's very important. So yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Just, a lot of what you've learned, I feel like you try to spread it.
I'm glad you say that because maybe there's people on here listening that can testify that wherever I've gone, if I've come across friends and they've asked for advice, I try to share my experience with them, right? Because I know how it is, to be out there and not have a mentor or not have somebody telling you if you're doing something right, if you're doing something wrong. And I've been blessed to have, good mentors, in business, have good mentors in the military. And so I think the only thing I can do is pass it forward and share that. And thankfully, it has been a lot of, Hispanics. Right. So I'm always trying to.
La raza.
Yeah, bro, if I can help another Hispanic out,
hell yeah.
let me know. Now, the bad thing is whenever they're just looking and they're afraid to ask and, it's like, I'm a very approachable person, So.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you do show that. There's a lot of people that are not, but it's easy to approach you, at least for me. But I can approach anybody, so it's easy. Last question about the military. Would you let your kids join one day if they decide that's a route they want to go?
I would.
Okay.
I would.
Yeah.
Because, and it's funny because when I first got out, I said no.
You're like, hell no.
I'm like, don't.
Right.
Because number one, there's a lot of politics in the military.
Okay.
Right.
There's a lot of shit we don't see, huh?
There's a lot of things, but gracias a Dios, I knew to be quiet. Okay. I knew to.
There's a lot of shit you can't say on here, huh?
Do what you're supposed to do. Right. Do what you're supposed to do, and I did. I grew through the ranks faster than most people, but I got out just because it's a lot of politics. A lot of politics involved. But and so I said no. I would tell my son, don't go.
Okay.
But I've had time to reflect and basically realize, like, wow, the Elias that I am today wouldn't be who he is had it not been for those years in the military. Like, I've learned so much, right, in those years that I wouldn't be who I am today, right? Because I didn't have, I did have hardworking parents, very hardworking parents, but there wasn't a structure, right?
Gotcha.
They just taught me work ethic, and so sometimes having a hard work ethic isn't enough. You need a hard work ethic, but that's getting you somewhere, right? You can
With a plan.
you can be working hard, but you can be working hard and it feels like you're stuck, but you're stuck because you don't have a plan to your second and third step from where you're currently at. And so I've only been able to acknowledge that through having that military experience.
Okay. So make a plan, right? Don't just shoot for the stars without the plan,
Well, yeah.
right?
Yeah. Or as I like to say, right, you can motivate an idiot and all you get is a motivated idiot
Yeah.
with no direction.
Okay. That's
So-
true. Talk about motivation. There's a lot, like I said 10 minutes ago, to dive into. But I do want to shout out all our military women. I don't feel like they get enough love. You know, I feel like they deserve a lot of love too. I feel like it's even, harder out there for a woman. Imagine a woman with kids having to go to the military, or just a woman out there.
Yeah.
Out there in the wild, in the Middle East.
In the Middle East, I was like in the wild.
You know, that's wild. You know.
Yeah.
But I want to shout them out. You know.
Yeah, shout out to them.
You had I'm pretty sure you had a lot of fellow military women, right?
I did.
And they're different, right? Even the higher command, they're different,
Yes.
and it's hard. You know. So want to shout them out. I do got a question though.
Shout out to y'all. Thank y'all for y'all service, and
Yeah.
thank you. I don't know if we have any,
yeah.
wives at home that have military husbands overseas
Yeah.
or
Big
significant
shout-outs.
others overseas. Thank you for holding it down at home
Yeah.
while your spouse is out there serving. Thank you. It doesn't go unnoticed. So
Yeah.
thank you guys.
Let's
Thank
go.
you.
So let's go into your number one phrase, man. Or at least for me, I've heard this phrase from you like 3-4 times. And what is it?
So, big phrase for me, right? Where I am at life, I develop a phrase for that moment. And right now, it's it's been a lot about it's not how you start, it's how you finish
Let's go.
that matters,
Right.
right? So,
It could be
do you want me to explain?
Yes,
Do you
it
want
could
me
be
to explain?
finished when you die, or it could be finished on Friday. But go ahead.
Yeah. So, right. So I see a lot of people holding themselves back from what they can achieve because they feel like they need something more. They feel like, a good example, right? Let's say somebody here, they want to become a content creator. Oh, I need the newest camera.
I
Right.
hear that all the time.
Oh, I need lighting. Oh, I need the mics. Right. I don't have it. Like, I've learned with time.
I need a logo.
I need a logo, right? So it's like, no, like all you need is already within you. Start. It's not how you start. It's how you're gonna finish. So
Right.
start with the bare minimum. Start with, comienza con lo poquito que tienes. Y as you grow, right? As you move forward, you can improve on those things.
Yeah.
You can improve on things because you're probably underplaying yourself. You probably have a phenomenal talent that you're hiding, right? But you're hiding it because you feel like you're not ready. And
Right.
you're making up an excuse because you're holding yourself back, right? So it's like, no, like you have to learn to utilize what's available to you at the moment. Just utilize what you have because it's not about how you start. It's how you
Let's
finish.
go.
And I say
Yeah.
this because I'm sure you've seen there's people that they'll do the $10,000 investment and buy all the newest equipment.
Oh my God.
And they start strong
Yeah.
and they quit. Like they never finish. They just
Crazy.
quit. So I'm like, okay, this guy started off, or this gal started off strong, the newest equipment. Okay, you got money, right? Whatever. But
What's next?
you also quit so fast. And at the same time, the person who starts with less but is more consistent is always gonna be
Yeah,
that person who was just in it just to start.
for sure.
So-
yeah, there you go.
Yeah, no, don't hold back. It's not how you start, it's how you finish.
Let's go. You're a very motivating person. And one of my first encounters with you, or when I heard about you, is of a guy that, bro, he's not even big on social media. Like, as in he don't really scroll like that. But he's like, man, I follow that guy and he's so motivated. I don't even work out, but he makes me want to work out. Having all that said, what motivates you? Stupid question, because it's just so common. But what motivates you?
So what encourages me? I don't like saying motivation because
Okay.
I'm not gonna go into a bigger topic in how motivation is a drug. In a
Okay.
way, but family. Family is what really encourages me. You know, I think we always do things to make our parents proud. We always do things to make our kids happy. You know, to make our kids look up to us.
Yeah.
Friends encourage me. You know, I just want to be able to be a person that can uplift those around me.
Okay.
Right. So when you say, you know, what motivates, quote unquote, me, it's that. It's, you know, I'm going to do the best I can for me. But if you can do the best you can for you, that would be even better, because I can't help you if I can't even help myself. Right?
Yeah. That's awesome. I mean, you kind of answered the other 3 questions I had is what wakes you up in the morning and how do you stay motivated?
My alarm.
Right? The alarm. I mean, because everyone thinks that just because you have that military background, just because you're a motivated person, that you wake up like this. But that's bullshit, bro. No one wakes up like this. No one wakes up like, all right, let's go. Takes a while. But it's that extra little click in your brain or something that just makes you get up. Because other people's like, nah, fuck that. Turn the alarm off. I'll do it next week. But no, you got to have that motivation. You got to have that click. You got to have that reason behind you.
Yeah, I'm still, deep. It's because also deep down inside, I'm still that little kid.
Okay.
Right? So, you know, I want you to just take a moment, Mando.
Okay.
And go back to that moment when you were a kid, when all you wanted to do was be older so you could accomplish more. And I would ask anybody who's listening in, just take a couple seconds and remind yourself when you were younger, you were that little girl, that younger gentleman, and all you ever said was, you know, when I get older, I want to do this. When I get older, I want to accomplish this. Guess what? That time is now.
Fuck.
That time is now. So you hoped for that time when you were a kid. You're that adult now.
Yeah.
So why ain't you chasing those goals? Why haven't you?
That's true.
And I would say, as we get older, don't stop dreaming, because there's always more to accomplish. And as you've heard me say when we work out, the enemy of your next success is your current success. Because if you over celebrate your current success, you're going to spend too much time celebrating this success that you're going to take away from the next.
Man, that's fire.
So deep inside, I think I'm still that younger kid that just said,
wants
hey,
more.
when I was younger, it's just, you know, man, when I get older, I want to accomplish this. I want to do that, you know. And ultimately, Mando, this is a big thing for me. I don't think I've shared it with you. A little sensitive topic too is I used to procrastinate a lot, right?
Oh, I'm the worst.
But one of the things that helped me was realizing that my parents are not going to be here forever.
Oh shit. Okay.
So it's like, damn, Elias, like, okay, you're doing pretty good. You, your wife, like, shout out to my wife, by the way, if you're listening in too.
I'm pretty sure.
Thank you, baby. I also wouldn't be the man I am today if it wasn't for you. Big role. But going back to like that, right? Because I was content, right? Or satisfied. But I said, you know what? How much can I accomplish in my parents' lifetime? I don't want to.
The time is clicking, bro.
Our parents' time is clicking, and so to me, it's like, man, I need to work faster, because I don't want to achieve something and be like, man, I wish my parents were here to see it. It's too late. It's too late. You should have worked a little faster, right? I'm sure there'll be some successes that I'll achieve, si Dios quiere, right? We don't know what can happen. I can get in the car today and something happened to me before something happened to them. But at this point, you know, it's like their time is clicking, right? So it's like, I'm sure I'm going to have more successes, you know, after their time. but I'm trying to do the most I can while I still got them.
Make them proud.
Yes, while I still got them to witness it, because I think the most important thing for any parent is they just want to know that their kids are gonna be okay, right? So I don't know. What about you, Mando? I mean,
That's amazing,
what do you think
man.
about that?
I think you hit something hard. Like I never thought about that. I always think about my parents be here forever. I don't see myself without them. And for you to say that is like urgency, more urgency instead of do that tomorrow.
You can't wait till tomorrow.
I have some things that I got to do tonight, and they could wait till tomorrow, but do them tonight. If you could do them, knock them out, and that's it. Why dejarlo a la desidia? I'm very big on that. I've gotten better, but I'm very big on that. And now that's just another little check mark to get better with at least that, which is amazing. Because they're amazing people, man. Our parents.
100%.
They're amazing people. They work so hard. Just imagine having to go to another country, not knowing the language, because this country is not going to give you what you need. You're 20 or whatever. That's what they did for us. And they had to learn new shit. They had to develop. They had to get a job, get a house. And for them to see where you are or I am today, that's proud.
We owe it to
them. But we're not done yet, man. There's a lot more shit to do.
And we got to do it while we have our parents.
Because we got a lot of work to do. So yeah, man, I love that. I think that's probably the meat of the podcast. That's why you're here. There's always a reason. There's always like the best part of the podcast.
Yeah.
And I always keep it in my mind. Because one day I'm going to be 90. I'm going to be playing these podcasts back. I'll be like, oh yeah, I remember that one. I'm going to be bored. Like my grandsons, hopefully, right? Be like, you watching that again, Grandpa? Yeah. That was me.
You're leaving a legacy.
Yeah. So that was amazing, man. We got a little bit of time for some questions.
Let me ask you a question though, because
we got time.
I like going back as a kid, right? So that Mando, that's a kid. If you could see the Mando today,
shit,
what would that younger kid tell that Mando?
He'll be like, "You went the wrong way, bro. You went the wrong way. No, you went the way that I didn't expect you to go." The little Mando, 10, 7-year-old, he thought I was going to be a soccer player. Soccer player, successful. That's it. Not even about the autographs, not even about the trophies, just a soccer player for that. And for me to be on the other side, now, you said it, like, now me going to the soccer games and showing love to the soccer players that did make it. And for me to have access to most of these games, that little Mando's going to be like, you made it, man. You made it, but you made it in a different way. But I think I like that one better versus a soccer player. Because now you built this for yourself versus, something else. So I think I took the right path, but not the path that he thought he was going to take, which is dope.
Yeah,
I like it.
And I would say you probably took a more difficult path. Mm-hmm. I think talent is good, and I think soccer player would have been given to you a little bit
easier,
and you've had to pave.
Yeah, I'm still paving
this path.
We're still working.
Yeah, I think your purpose is bigger. That's why.
Purpose is big. Again, we spoke about purpose for the brand and what that purpose is for Guaris, and that purpose is to be one of the most recognized brands, not Latin, not Hispanic, one of the most recognized brands. And then to add on top of that, for it to be Hispanic or Latino-owned brand, just can't beat it. So we got a lot of work to do, man.
Hey, let's go.
We got a lot of work to do, but today is like not step one, but a very great foundation because I spoke it to the team. And that's what we did today. So yeah, this is a great podcast, man.
Heck yeah.
This is great. I don't want to end it yet. I got a couple questions for you.
Let's do it.
You're very big into fitness. You've been into fitness for how long?
Jesus
Let's
Christ.
say 10 dedicated years.
Longer, probably.
Longer?
Yeah, I would say since high school. So let's just say over 10 years.
Over 10 years. Can you share a easy 3 to 5 day gym routine? Easy.
Yeah, let's do perfect. Let's do a 3-day, right?
Okay.
3-day routine. So your body is composed of upper body, lower body, right? I would probably do something like legs and shoulders on one day, big muscle, little muscle one day, right? Second day, I would do something like back and biceps.
Okay.
Right? Working out your back and your biceps. And then on the third day, I'd probably do a chest and tricep workout. And then I would rest, right? And then kind of repeat that. But if you want to take a break in between, you would do like Monday, Wednesday, Friday. And that's what I would do for somebody beginning.
Beginner, like 101, baby.
The worst thing you can do for a beginner is try to show up every day. Right? With you, I think we went 2 days.
Right.
It was 2 days, right?
Yeah.
Now we're increasing the frequency, but I would say that would be a good little routine. Just work the muscles, 2 exercises per muscle group, right? Don't overthink it. Just hop on the machine, knock out 10 reps, right? Do that 3 times, next muscle group. Don't overthink it.
Okay. Next question. How can I lose weight and maintain muscle?
So that's actually, it's tricky because sometimes people, they don't want to, how can I tell you this? People say, oh, I don't want to really lose weight, but I want to tone.
Right.
And
It takes a while, man.
No, it's not that okay. I think what they don't want to say that they need to lose the weight.
Okay.
Because you have muscle.
Right.
We just have a layer of
fat on top of it, right?
On top of the muscle, right? So we can do one of 2 things. Either we're going to trim some weight off so we can reveal your muscle, right? Giving you that tone that you're looking for. Or we can add weight and then cut down so you go back to your normal rate. But to say, I'm 150 pounds and I want to tone, but I don't want to lose weight. And it's like, you're going to have to either go, if you want to stay at 150, you're going to have to cut the weight or go up to like 160 pounds. And then we can cut weight to
There's a lot to it.
Yeah.
know?
But that's whenever people say, how can I do that? But
Last question. What's a good diet suggestion for starters who are starting and trying to eat healthy?
just don't do any crazy changes. I would say step 1 is kind of stick to your normal route, stick to whatever you're eating.
Okay.
Right? But try to not finish your plate. Right? So if you're used to maybe
Of what you normally eat. Right?
of what you normally eat, try to eat a little less. So I'm not gonna tell you, hey, start eating fish and rice tomorrow or chicken and rice tomorrow. No, if what you eat is 4 tacos, try to cut down to 3 tacos. Right? And then maybe next week, try to cut down to 2.
Okay.
Right? I'm all about small, changing it
Portions.
in portions, right? Not trying to make a drastic change because you're not gonna last. You're not gonna last. So just whatever you're normally eating, just try to eat a little less. Try to leave a little bit on the plate, which is really hard in the Hispanic culture because in the Hispanic culture we're raised with,
Hasta que te llenes.
finish everything on your plate.
Whatever.
Termínate todo en el plato que
Yeah, my uncle would be like, you can't get off of that. You can't get off that seat, the dinner table, until you finish that plate, bro. This fucking plate was huge as fuck.
that there's some kid. I mean,
Bro,
yes, there is somebody starving. There's somebody starving
No,
somewhere,
yeah.
right? But it's like, que hay un niño que se está muriendo de hambre. But it's like, how is it gonna help them for me to finish that plate, right?
Bro, I would get a napkin, put the food in it, put the food in my pocket.
It is.
And then eat whatever I could, and then I could go play.
Eras mañoso, tú.
Hell yeah. And
Oye,
then I'll go throw it away.
Y yo no.
Don't get no tricks, guys.
Bro, I had a conscience, man. As a
You
kid,
eat it?
I had
You
a
eat it all?
conscience. I mean, if that's what I had to do, bro, I had a conscience, man.
Right. There was a lot, bro. There was a lot of food.
There was a God that seeing that was seeing
Hay
everything.
un Dios que ve todo. Well, yeah, I'm telling you guys here. But I typically close out with motivation. I don't know if you have anything saved. Anything you want to close out with?
Motivation.
Even though this
I
podcast
think-
was full of it.
I think we really spoke a lot on the motivation. I think if you're procrastinating on your goals and you're holding yourself back, just try to do more while you still have your parents. And I'm sorry for those of you that may not have your parents anymore, but it's not too late. You know, try to prove it to yourself that you can still do it, and that they're still watching.
Yeah.
Right. So find a way to beat procrastination. And then I would say number 2 is don't hold yourself back. Stop playing small, because and the audience knows, if they look in the mirror and they really look deep inside, they know they're playing small. And my question would be, why are you holding back?
For real.
Why are you holding back? I'm not judging. You're not judging. Nobody's judging. And that's what I like about seeing people succeed, is that every success that a person has is an example that it's possible.
Right.
Right? Deja de envidia. Don't be like, oh, that guy's lucky or this. No. Hey, you see a guy driving the car you want to have.
He could do it.
Don't
you could
hate,
do it, bro.
Don't hate. See it as an example of it's possible.
Right.
Like, damn, if that person can do it, I can do it.
And mostly when I see raza being successful, I'm like, that guy did it, bro. We could do it. We could fucking do it. That guy's killing it. We could be killing it. You know? And when I see other, let's say, influencers, other brands killing it, I'm like, there's no excuse. If they have something successful going on, that means we could too. It's possible. So they're paving the way and they're showing you that it's possible. So don't hate. No envidia.
There's somebody, bro, this sometimes keeps me up at night. There's somebody out there doing a lot more than me
with less.
That gets me every time, bro.
That's crazy. It is, because, well, let's talk about the podcast. I feel like I have a lot here, but there's other podcasts that are fucking killing it. And because of whatever reason, I'm not doing it, because I'm not putting in that work. I'm not playing my cards correctly. So it's all about that, making sure you play your cards correctly and don't make no excuses. And if there's someone else out there killing it and doing great, congratulate them. Versus like, fuck that guy. I'm not going to like his post. I'm not going to share it. It's not about that. It's about, just showing love, and it's going to come back to you. It's going to come back to you for sure. Right?
Oh, it always comes around.
Yeah.
If there's one thing, we're talking about our parents.
Yeah.
Mi mom, and gracias a Dios, bro, it's in me. Since a kid, she always said, mijo, tú nunca mires lo malo en la persona. Siempre ve lo bueno.
Damn, it's hard, bro.
En la persona. It is. And my wife would tell you, this is who I am, bro.
Yeah.
I can find somebody that maybe a lot of people hate for whatever reason. But I can find something that
there's
is
a
positive.
reason.
There's something good. There's always something to learn from everybody.
That's true.
There's always something to learn. You say that there's a lot of things you learn from me. I learn a lot of things from you. Right?
And
everybody.
I don't see that. I'm like, what could he learn from me?
Your consistency.
Yeah.
102.
That's true. That's a lot.
102.
It's hard.
And I'm sure there's people who started podcasting before you,
right?
But they also quit.
Right. There's a lot.
There's a lot.
And they have a lot of followers, a lot of listeners. I'm like, yo, why'd they stop? But consistency, bro.
Yeah.
It's hard. But that's why we're here. That's why we're here, and we're not stopping,
That's right. That's right.
And that's it, right? You got anything else?
No, nothing else. Just if there's any takeaway, man, it's just listen to those moments of encouragement. I think we're in a time now where a lot of people need encouragement.
Yeah.
So nothing to it but to do it.
Let's go. Thank you guys for listening to episode 102.
Let's go.
Happy Wednesday. Yeah, we're here every Wednesday. But yeah, thanks for joining us. We'll see you guys on episode 103. And nos vemos. Have a good day.